Welcome back to the last episode of my mini-series on insulin. There's still so much to talk about insulin and why we need to be very concerned about the spikes that we get. But, we can always come back to this topic later on. Okay, so far in the series, I've talked about how veggie meats can spike insulin. The protein isolates in there are the culprits. And of course, not all veggie meats have either soy or let's see what else, pea protein or the vital wheat gluten. There are other kinds. And so, but the ones that have those are the ones that we are concerned about. And then, of course, the free glutamates that we find in soy sauce, in tamari sauce that I talked about. Now, let's talk about another isolate. And let's talk about protein powders. Yes, protein powders can, not all, but some can spike your insulin. And here's the thing. Again, insulin is a very important hormone for all of us. It does help get our blood sugars into our cells. It helps us with growth. It helps us build muscle, and it stores fat. And it's also involved with electrolyte balance, so many things, okay? Now, yes, when it comes to protein powders, let's be mindful of the protein powders that we do choose. So, whey protein isolates, pea protein isolates. Yes, those are the ones that we do have to be concerned about because they can also, just like in the veggie meats, the isolates, same thing. The whey, the pea, it is not bound in its whole form in these protein powders. It is actually taken apart. It is stripped from its original source. So with the whey, it comes from dairy. Okay, it comes from milk, and we know that, but it's stripped from casein. It is stripped from the fat. And when it is soloing, when it is acting by itself, then it quickly then gets absorbed into our bodies. And the body is thinking, whoa, we have so much protein that's coming into us. Let's get ready. So let's shoot out more insulin than what we believe we need, because this is really a lot. And what happens is that the amount that's released is just way too much. No pun intended, but it is way too much when we do consume whey protein powders that are from whey isolates. Same thing with pea protein. But if the protein powders are from concentrates, then it is still attached to some of its other elements that it has naturally come with. And so that is so much better than choosing your protein powders that are isolates. Okay, so look out for those as well. Remember that we have been told it is so important to look out for your blood sugars. It still is. That is half of the battle. That is what we need to look at first, because if our blood sugars are spiking a lot, then of course, obviously, our pancreas will work harder to produce more insulin to get down the blood sugars. And we believe that. And that is still true to today. But we need to be mindful that blood sugars, what we aren't really told as often is that blood sugars can be within normal limits. They can rise within normal limits after a meal, which is expected. They do rise. And even if they rise within the parameters of where they should rise, even if your blood sugars look beautiful, if you are consuming these isolates in a protein powder form, your blood, not your blood sugars, your insulin levels can still spike. And don't forget, when insulin spikes often, when we have that insulin instability, we then wear out our pancreas so that eventually the insulin that it produces will become resistant and won't be able to do what it's supposed to do. And as we get into perimenopause, into menopause, and then into postmenopause, and then for men, andropause, well, here's the thing to keep in mind. We are all getting more insulin resistant because of the shifts of our hormones. And so because of these shifts, then we need to be mindful of what we need to do to counteract the changes in our body. So God designed us to age with ease, but it is what we put into our bodies that can make this aging process feel chaotic. And then we end up going on hormone therapy unnecessarily. And that's not addressing the root cause, such as what I'm talking about. And then also, our aging process does include being able to be aware of, okay, what is going on too with the minerals that my body needs? Am I burning through a lot of them? So that's another element that we need to look at in the aging process, not just, okay, the insulin resistance. That's a huge part of it, but there are so many other areas. Minerals, our blood sugar and insulin spikes, those need to be looked at. And then we also need to make sure that we are eating according to our nutrition-related gene variations. Because if we eat against the way our blueprint is laid out, we can experience a lot of chaos and disruptions and discomfort and challenges in the aging process. But God designed us to age with ease. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this mini series of how our insulin can spike even if our blood sugars don't. And if you need help in optimizing your metabolic health by way of rebalancing your gut health and your hormone health, then reach out to me. My Gut and Hormone Harmonizer program is for you. And in that program, I give you so much individualized and personalized guidance and care. All right. In all that we do, in all that we eat and drink, let us do it all for the glory of God.